Hi, I'm Margie Nanny, and welcome to the Desoto Speedway Show. This is our 4th time out with this show, and we hope that you all have enjoyed it and have learned a lot. Each week we try to bring in some exciting guests and have a good time and show you a little bit more about the Speedway, which is located on State Road 64 in Bradenton. Tonight I'm real happy that we've got a great slate of guests with us tonight. On my left we have Sean Best, who drives a number 67 mini stock.
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Don't be nervous. It's very easy. And then, of course, on my right is T.R. Fulks, and he joins me tonight again, and we're happy to have you back, T.R. And then over here on T.R.'s right is Lucky Brown. You've heard us talk about Lucky Brown, and tonight what we'd like to do is call this show the oldest driver and the youngest driver that drive at the Speedway. Brownie, we've had a big running discussion going about your age, but we told him you're about 45 and holding. What do you think?
Well, that's what I claim, but TR, he says he went up in West Virginia back in the mountains and he dug up my true age, so I left it up to TR.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we really like that.
And we really do have the proof. I mean, you know, we went way back years and years ago and finally found out who wrote your birth certificate out.
Yeah.
Somebody by the name of Methuselah.
Oh, listen to this.
But now we have the facts, and we'll bring them out later on in the show.
I love it. That's great. So tonight we're going to have discussion with them, and of course we're going to be showing some racing highlights, and we'll be taking your calls as well. So please do look at the phone number that you'll see on your screen shortly. First, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank our sponsors. As you know, Desoto Speedway is the major sponsor of this show, and we want to thank them very much for bringing live racing action into your homes on Wednesday night on Channel 36, of course, in Sarasota, live. And then we go on tape delayed to an 8 o'clock segment in Manatee County on Time Warner, and that's on Channel 21. We'll take your calls here after a while, and we look forward to those. Then we have Marine Surplus, of course, who supplies you with all your marine needs, and they have a large location in Bradenton on 301. They sponsor several race cars and are very well known out there. Hi-Fi Racing, which has all kinds of racing and safety equipment. And then, of course, Bill Graham Ford Company, who's a Ford dealer in Manatee County. We have Eldridge's Auto Body also, and as you know, Eldridge's has been in the business for quite some time. We want to thank them for being a sponsor as well. And then Hooters, where you know them everything from chicken wings to owning racetracks up in Lakeland, and to having 2 of the fine growing touring series here in the state of Florida as well.
That's Wings and Things?
No, TR, you always say that, but it's not.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Wings and Things, Margie. I'm sorry. Golly.
And we have a Driver of the Year award who's also a sponsor. That's going to be coming on as a separate segment about what it takes to actually be a sponsor and become a Driver of the Year. Goodyear Tire and Rubber, what could you do? It's the old when the rubber meets the road. That's all about that. We love that. And then Dave Pletcher Racing. Of course, Dave's been racing in the Tampa Bay area for quite some time. And he has a speed shop and supplies a lot of the racers with a lot of the parts, also the replacement parts for their cars. So we want to thank all those sponsors. And of course, if you're interested in becoming one, you can speak to Scott Hayes here during the week at the same number that you'll see up on your screen. First, I think what we'll do, TR, what do you want to do? You want to take some racing action first, or would you like to talk to a little bit before we get into it?
Well, you know, we could probably do some talking to...
I can't imagine doing the talking, but...
Well, you know, there's been a long time controversy over how old is the oldest race car driver at DeSoto Speedway. You know, we started way back when Lucky Brown first came to DeSoto Speedway, and if the camera can zoom in, this is one of the first races that Lucky ever went to at DeSoto Speedway. That's a Monte Carlo 15. It's only about a halfway zebra. I mean, it's not like the new ones that he's got out.
What is the deal with the zebra?
Well, Brownie, what did you call the zebra? I mean, what is the zebra?
What inspired
African
you?
horse. It's an African horse. A zebra is an African horse. The first one we had was a 35 Ford. Back in '52.
And that was a brand new car, I believe. You know, in '35.
35 Ford in 1952.
Where'd you race that one, Lucky?
Yeah, at old Saramana. Saramatta Speedway, right there off of 41 in Bradenton.
Isn't that where the Red Lobster is? Whoops,
Yeah, right
that
behind it, right
seafood
behind it.
restaurant up there?
Right behind it.
Okay.
Right behind Luxon Trailer Park. There's a trailer park in there now. It's from 51 till 71's how long that track was there.
And of course, Sean was just a twinkle in his mom eye at that point, but you know, it's okay.
No, probably Sean's
We're gonna
mother
get to
wasn't
you in
even
a minute,
born
don't
there.
worry.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's when you started running the striped
Yeah,
colors and
yeah,
having all
yeah.
the fun. Well, does a African horse run fast, or what was the connection there?
No, well, it seems to be doing pretty good. It stays up with most of the rest of them.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, now that was back in 52, so this is 96, so that's what, 44 years. And I heard that you didn't start racing until you was somewhere in your mid to late 30s, but now,
So you're doing the math on that,
you know,
DR.
so that puts you somewhat over 70 somewhere, maybe.
Someplace. That's what you
Ah,
claim.
yeah.
That's what you claim.
He's just getting started, doesn't have an ounce of fat on his body either. I wanted to, okay, let's bring him back down to earth here a little bit. What we're going to feature here in our first segment on our footage is, of course, the 50-lap mini stock shootout. We talked to you last week that was going to be their big event for the year, and they run the 50-lap shootout races, of course, for every class. So I think that class is sponsored by Q Auto Accident Attorneys, and of course Leonard McHugh is a great avid racer. He even parks his race car in front of his shop there in Bradenton, has many locations in Florida. And maybe what we could do is go into some footage of that, and if you'd like to help us narrate, we obviously can use all the help we can get. And we'll go into the mini stock race first, and then we'll go to some go-kart racing action, and then we'll see the late models. So we're rolling tape here, and you can see the start again.
Now also, this mini stock feature, Margie, was the first time ever at Desoto Speedway that we had two ladies sitting on the pole with fast time. I think that was Cindy
That's right.
Brown and
Cindy.
Kathy Wilson out of Mayaca.
What's it like to run with those women being that fast, huh?
Sometimes it's scary.
It's not too bad. Okay, and we can see the action coming in here after the first lap. They're starting to shake out a little bit. And where are you? Give us an idea as to where you are here in this pack.
I didn't make it very far into the race because I had a crack intake and it caused me not to make it very far into the race because I was having problems with the car.
Okay.
Have you got that corrected for this next week, Sean?
Hopefully.
Okay.
You hope so, right?
Right.
Okay. And pretty
Looks like
soon,
a lot of action with those small cars. I mean, those cars are running real close together.
we just saw Pop Slintz go by. I know he and his son, of course, have been doing a lot of real hard running out there, doing real well.
I believe you'll find that
In just a minute, we're going to have this thing with Scott Faulkner
right.
coming up. It starts to work up, I believe.
Leave right there.
Yeah,
Right
here
there
you
it's
go.
coming.
Viewers can see it a little clearer than we are, but basically he got a little loose down there in the turn, came back up, got hit really hard. Yeah, here was the aftermath right there. Okay, so he collected several cars, and of course it took him out of the race for the night. And you can see that the safety crews were right on it. There's a safety broom truck right there that keeps the track clean, John Raymer. Here we are back to restart. Phil Cruz in the 07, right after this restart, passed Pop Slintz and got into second. So you'll see that action happen here in a second.
We'll have to work hard to make up that spot.
So 50 laps, tell us what that's about. Is that like a kind of an enduro type thing, or?
It's just like extra laps than what we normally race, where you have a shootout, which is more money, which a lot of people try to tend for, and it's also, I believe, sometimes double points nights.
Double points, so that really brings out a lot of
Yeah.
the racers. Of course, they can't miss a double point night because that
Right.
really
Puts it back.
Looks like we've got another problem there coming. Our front place finishers,
That was Aubrey Lamp, wasn't it?
right, she hit the wall in turn 3, and they had to take Aubrey to the safety vehicle
Right, she was okay though.
to check her out.
Of course, the cars that were directly behind her got into the fluid that she was dropping, and they got scrambled up as well. Here they are. There's Craig Clark and his safety crew, and they're taking her back for just precautionary check. Of course, the Speedway has all the proper safety equipment right there on site. I believe that's her car. Crunch. Ow. Then we're back to restart again. And then, let's see, I think on lap 43, Pop Slentz passed Cruz in the 07.
Right.
And he got second place back. So that'll happen here. So,
Pop works a lot on young son's car, and seems like he worked a little bit too hard this week. Because, I mean, Brian came up and really done a good job. They could never catch him once he got out in front. He really had that car running. I mean, that little VW Rabbit is just doing everything it's supposed to do. And there comes Pop up on the inside to take second place.
There's a pass. And I can guarantee you the crowd loved it. They always love that. No matter who they're rooting for, they always like seeing shifting in positions, and especially when the laps are winding down on a 50-lap race. Brian,
Right.
What's it like racing a 50-lap race of fun?
It's just more fun out there. Lasts a little bit longer. Lasts a little bit longer.
Tires get a little more wear. There's your flag.
How many have you raced in, Sean? And
It's my second one.
second one?
And here we are in the winner's circle. There's Brian Slentz. Of course, he's from Palmetto in the number 53, Hunt Sater Farms. And then Dave Slentz in the 45 of
Sponsored by
Palmetto.
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. And of course, Slentz Electric.
And there's Benny Daniels, which was later disqualified in the
And what's this?
aftermath. I believe
What are these
the
things?
third
on
place guy in that race, Margie, was
there? We had Tom Troyer in 4th and 17. The number 17 car, and Philip Cruz in 7th, Mike.
right. Okay.
Now out here on the Speedway, here are these little teeny guys. This is the go-karts, and we spoke with them. They're one of the guys that brought them. There's 6 of them competing. If you'll notice the speed of the mini stocks that you just saw versus these guys look like they're almost turning quicker times. Did you look at them? I mean, they were doing. You didn't have time to look at them. Brownie, did you see them?
No, we was lined up down there when they was on the
I think
track.
they were
And that was quick, because here come the late models.
They ran about 90 miles an hour,
No,
to my
they're
understanding.
fast. Those things are fast.
Now, speaking of fast, right here we have the premier class from the racetrack, the Desoto Speedway Rose Auto Parts late models. And you'll see them come out,
Bowser.
right? He took the lead before the first lap was completed. And then, of course, in lap 4:37 of John Shields, who runs a Mopar,
Right.
he came into 3rd place.
Yeah, George Krause of Sarasota in the 02 came in, I believe, second after it was all said and done. Jeremy Bowser, I think this was his first feature win. And Sean, this is something for you to look forward to too. The man's only 16 years old.
That's right. So, you know, the winner's circle comes early. There we go. Is that Corey Ziegler? I think that was, wasn't it? He spun out and collected a couple. There's one of them up in the wall there. Caution light comes out. It was a mess up there. Of course, when that happens, the whole track is checked, and before they go back to restart.
Looks like once
That's Couch.
Jeremy got out, he was just not going to be caught in that black 7. There he is.
In the winner's circle.
In the winner's circle. Rose Auto Parts.
And of course, for all your auto parts needs, we always ask that you support those sponsors. And of course, there's
Johnny
Johnny Shields of Bradenton. Marine Surplus.
Surplus.
Yeah, TR, we're like parroting each other. I mean, you know.
they're doing real good out there, you know?
Great. All right, well, that concludes our first segment, and we're looking for the calls from you, and we're happy that our guests are here. And when the show goes on, we have separate segments of them showing their race cars and things, and so we're happy that you've joined us tonight, and we hope that you'll continue to do so. We enjoy the show, and we hope you will too.
Everybody comes around the end of the hour, takes a lot down. Congratulations. We've owned a lot of cars in our time, and when we were ready for a new one,
We went right back to Bill Graham Ford.
we like doing business with Bill Graham Ford. Because in addition to giving us the best deal, they also treat us with respect.
And that's important.
Buying a new car is easy at Bill Graham Ford because they really go that extra mile to make you happy.
And make you feel special.
Bill Graham Ford. Great deals, great service, and great people.
If you have been involved in a collision, remember you can deal with confidence at Eldridge Body Shop. Our work has been approved by all insurance companies, and we have access to rental cars. We do foreign, domestic, and light-duty truck paint and body work. All of our body technicians are ASC certified and ICAR trained. Eldridge is a member of the Automotive Service Association, ensuring you of an honest and competitive estimate. Eldridge Body Shop has been #1 in customer service since 1978. Eldridge Body Shop, for people who care.
Auto racing is exciting, but it's also dangerous. Drivers walk away from accidents without injury because their safety equipment worked. Today's racer needs to have the best in safety equipment. Hi-Fi Racing can provide you with everything you need for you and your car. We carry the best names such as Simpson, Bell, OMP, Featherlight, Butler-Built, Phoenix, Redline, Longacre, and more. Our new 1,200 square foot showroom is conveniently located near I-75 and I-4 in Tampa. Hi-Fi Racing, your source for safety.
Action, fun, excitement. It's all at Desoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track. See late models, stocks, mini stocks, pro figure eights, and the best drivers. Enjoy hours of thrills and excitement. Bring the family. Great food, free parking, and a playground for the kids. Desoto Speedway, 8 miles east of I-75 on State Road 64. It's the place to be in '96.
Hey, welcome back to the Desoto Speedway Show. We're happy you joined us again here in our second segment tonight. This is our 4th show, and we talk about the Speedway, of course, the whole time. If any of you have never been out to Desoto Speedway, of course, you take exit 41 off I-75, and you go about 8 to 9 miles east, and you'll see the Speedway signs. It's a great place for families to go on a Saturday night, and of course, the gates open early, and you can get in as early as 4 to 5 o'clock. A lot of people even meet out there and even do like a little tailgate party or some sort of gathering before the races begin. Then they go in and they can see the warm-ups. Of course, adults are only $8 to get in. And once the racing gets underway, you've got at least 4 hours of fun and racing action that is second to none. So if you love racing, then you'll see a lot of laps out there for that money. And the kids are just about free. I mean, they don't charge much at all for the children to get in. So we want to encourage you all to go out there. Now, as we do this show, we show you highlights, and we have guests. Tonight, of course, we have Sean Best, and we have Lucky Brown, and the theme tonight is the youngest and the oldest, and we'll get to that in a little bit later. But sometimes when we do call the highlight races, what we're looking at are some footage that was shot at night. If we do not mention a certain car, it's because of the timing and or we couldn't really see the numbers on the car. So we appreciate when callers like Naya call in,
Right.
and like she just did, and she mentioned, what did she say now? She said,
You know, like Saturday night, we had a driver that started second from last in the mini stock race. The number 90 of Michael Burke. Michael came in 3rd place. So, you know, that many cars starting second from last, coming in 3rd place was just unbelievable. So I think we done Michael a misjustice by not mentioning his name. So this we want to mention that now that's brought to our attention, that sometimes we can't see all this stuff, and we appreciate all the calls that people are calling in. So feel free to call in anytime you've got a question or a comment that might help produce racing better to you. Margie, I believe that's the name of the game.
That's the whole idea. And sometimes what will happen is you might see a call that looks somewhat, you know, out of character or something, and I impose what I call last week the Margie Nanny Gag Rule, which basically if you do have a question about something technical, or if you saw something that you weren't sure about that we can't address, we refer most of the technical calls to the track. Of course, we'll do the best we can to answer it to your, you know, to cover your question. But we'll also be the first one to tell you that we don't know the answer. You know, it's harder to fake one than it is to tell the truth, right? So
the baffling's done sometimes.
Isn't that the truth? But I had a question for Lucky. How did you get the name Lucky Brown?
Oh, way back when I was running in old Sarah Manna guy named me Lucky Brown there because, you know, all the cars and one thing and another, and him driving through them and everything, and he just named me that, and so I've carried it ever since that, since 1952.
Since 52, and
Yes.
the zebra stripes also.
Oh yes, they had 35 Ford with zebra stripes on.
You know, Margie, some of the people that have called me after they found out that Lucky was going to be on tonight, some of the questions we can't bring out on TV.
That's not all, no.
But, you know, some of the things that have been brought to my attention, there used to be people at Sarah Manna, and I'm sure at DeSoto Speedway, that used to use a lot of foul language to Brownie when he was coming in and out.
It's because he was always winning, you know?
Well, you know, he's always been there. He's always been in the middle of everything because he's always had a good running car. He's had, you know, some of the best people work on his cars, and let's face it, the man is a good driver. He can take a race car around a racetrack. But one thing in particular, one lady used to curse him and raise Cain and this and that. And Lucky's big thing was, his comeback was, I think you're so nice, you're so sweet. He tried to kill him with kindness. And that's what a real racer is really about. I mean, he brings forth to the kids, the spectators, that racing has got to be fun. I mean, let's face it, Lucky doesn't make any money at the racetrack. Lucky is out there for one reason, and that's for the fun of the sport.
And then he likes it when the zebra stripes that go this way, and turn into checkers too. I mean, you got to tell him the only reason you race is to go to the front too. But.
That's the name of the game.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do at this point. We're going to take two more segments. And in this one, we're going to see the pure stocks and the street stocks. And of course, Brownie will be in the second race, and we hope that he moderates some of that for us. And I believe whenever they're ready to roll some tape, we'll take a look at it, and then we'll give you the results of that race. Okay, the first one that you'll see is the pure stocks. And of course, they're sponsored by Automotive Windshield Services. We got a good crowd of cars out there. And here we go right off the bat. We had some problems here, and as you can see, one car can cause, and especially if you watched Indy this week, you can see how one little spin can create all kinds of havoc. Here we are back at your restart. You want to comment, you're welcome to.
You know, who's the number 67 there leading that race?
That is my brother, Dwayne Best.
He started on the pole?
Yes, he did. And at the end of the race, after tech and all that, he did end up winning it.
Okay.
Did a good job through the race.
Looks like he's got that car way out in front to start with.
Yeah.
So he runs the same number you do.
Yes.
No wonder I get you all mixed up. I've been calling you Dwayne all night, you know.
Now this family of the best racing, Margie, a lot of people don't know, but they started way back when their dad was racing back in the early 70s. He used to race Pintos at DeSoto. He used to run some at a dirt track north of us a little bit. And he's brought this family into the racing, and he's produced a lot of good race drivers for DeSoto Speedway.
Of course, you see the number 12 of Dan Hall behind him. And the 41 of Gus Corson.
Also,
a lot of tight, right there, they're really, that's a lot of fun there. I mean, they look like they're kind of, when you see them in real life, I can't help but say it every single week. I mean, between the sound and, you know, the feel of it, I mean, they're right on each other. The more tight action like that, the better, right, Brown?
That's right.
Well, that's right. You're not racing if you're not touching middle.
Closeness is where it's at.
That's right. And there's your flag.
All right, now the 41, of course.
Gus Corson showed
in first, but later on in tech was deemed illegal.
There's a 67. There's your brother.
And I believe that
the 88 of John Jackson.
Johnny Jackson,
right in here, DR again. We've got to get those names in.
And then, of course, the third place was Danny Hall in number 12.
Right, and heat winners in that class were Gus Corson and Dwayne Best came in second. Okay, so here we go now into our street stock class. And they're always exciting. And Brownie, you want to talk about this one?
Well, we got a good class of cars in there, and I started back in about 10th place and was working my way up through the thing, and then we got in some problems up there, which we won't discuss them on this. But so I ended up finishing about 10th or 11th because they put me clear of the back. And so
This class is always an action class because the cars are running so close running. I think it's just really hard for any driver or official to make an exact call every time that something is done. It's a real tight class. The cars are running so close. This is probably, I'm not going to say it because you're here, but this is probably the most action class at DeSoto Speedway at any given night.
That's Rocco in the lead there, I believe.
You got about 8 or 10 cars right there that's all equal. I mean, it's just whoever gets the right break and one thing and another can get on up through there because the cars are so equal.
Looks like Mr. Ford driving a Mopar, isn't it?
I know, I've always loved that one.
Margie has a thing about Mopars now.
I can't help it. It's in the family, you know. And I work for Ford, so you know what can I say.
But now,
I need to get to know that guy.
But now one of her first cars was a little Nissan.
That's right.
First time I ever saw Margie come to the racetrack way back when was in a little 240 ZX.
That's right. I still have it. It's got mold all over. No. Here's Brown. Now this is this incident. He was in between these cars, real tight sandwich in there, and you know that was in turn 3, wasn't it, Brown?
Turn 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay, sorry. See, I always need to get corrected. I mean, that's the whole thing here. All right, here we are back at the restart now. With the 74 of Gary Ford, and the Mopar, of course, is in the lead now. But I believe Jim Frake in the 19 is going to take him in a minute. Yeah, looks like he's getting right up. When you're trying to pass, what's the deal here now? What's the best way to go? High, low, medium?
Well, depends on how fast. If the guy slides up, you go underneath of him. But if he don't, he stays down on that yellow line while you have to go around the outside.
And what's the rule about how far you need to be up onto the other car before you've got that groove?
No, you have to be up right beside him.
You have to be up to his door?
You have to be up beside him.
Okay, so you need
where the driver can look over and see his front fender.
Say hello and all that stuff?
Well, it looks like this one just saw the front fender, and here comes Jim Frake right around to take first place. Now, what happens when you lose that advantage on the inside groove? What happens here?
Guys don't get you.
Swift Auto Repair.
There's Jim Frake. Sarasota Jungle Garden sponsoring this class with Gary Ford in the Mopar coming in second. And of course, Sonny Gumby Hughes in the 45 coming in third. Brian Teeters. Yeah, he sponsors him, right. Steve White. Brian Teeters of Ellington finished fourth, and Hal Vickery of Bradenton finished fifth. So that segment is quite exciting. I know that those two classes, when you look at them, the street stocks and the pure stocks, look somewhat alike as far as the chassis size. What's the difference?
Well,
just, briefly.
We have camshaft. You can run any cam you want to, flat type of cam, and we got locked rear ends in that, and so our compression roll was a little bit higher, and that's about the only difference in between.
Right. So that's why you see the pure stocks have a little more flex in the turns and get up in there like Harvey Tucker used to.
They don't handle quite. They don't handle
quite. We've got a lucky number, I think, Marty.
Yes, we do, and if you don't remind me of it, and what we're doing, if you were at the Speedway last week and you bought a program, it has a number on it. If you have number 7330, you get a family pass to the Speedway next week or the week of your choice. If you have program number 7330, if you'd like to call the number here, 371-2522, and give us your name and address, we'll be glad to take care of it. I believe also that what Pat said is you can just go on out to the Speedway. So 7330 is a lucky number.
Make sure you have that program.
Right. Okay, and we'll see you on the next segment, so hang in there, don't go anywhere.
Action, fun, excitement. It's all at DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track. See late models, stocks, mini stocks, pro figure eights, and the best drivers. Enjoy hours of thrills and excitement Bring the family. Great food, free parking, and a playground for the kids. Desoto Speedway, 8 miles east of I-75 on State Road 64. It's the place to be in 96.
If you have been involved in a collision, remember you can deal with confidence at Eldridge Body Shop. Our work has been approved by all insurance companies, and we have access to rental cars. We do foreign, domestic, and light-duty truck paint and body work. All of our body technicians are ASC certified and ICAR trained. Eldridge is a member of the Automotive Service Association, ensuring you of an honest and competitive estimate. Eldridge Body Shop has been #1 in customer service since 1978. Eldridge Body Shop, for people who care.
Auto racing is exciting, but it's also dangerous. Drivers walk away from accidents without injury because their safety equipment worked. Today's racer needs to have the best in safety equipment. Hi-Fi Racing can provide you with everything you need for you and your car. We carry the best names such as Simpson, Bell, OMP, Featherlight, Butler-Built, Phoenix, Redline, Longacre, and more. Our new 1,200 square foot showroom is conveniently located near I-75 and I-4 in Tampa. Hi-Fi Racing, your source for safety.
If you're into boating, you ought to get to know Marine Surplus. They specialize in hard-to-find marine supplies and accessories. You'll find everything you need in boating, from anchors to zincs, in their 21,000 square feet of boating supplies and accessories. Just a mile and a half north of the airport on Old U.S. Highway 301. Marine Surplus is open from 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday, to serve all your boating needs. No need to spend a bundle. Shop Marine Surplus. Find what you need and save.
Welcome back again. I know the hour seems late, but it won't be late if you watch us, because we'll keep you entertained for sure. And welcome back to the DeSoto Speedway Racing Show. While we've been out, we did one thing on the last segment. We think a caller may be calling in, the program number 7330. Every week what we'll do is at the end of the second segment and the beginning of the third segment, we'll announce that number. If you purchase a program that has that number on it, you can go ahead and give us a call. We'll take your name and address, and you'll receive a family pass, which will get mom, dad, and significant other, or whichever, and their children and guests into the track that night. So if you want to, give us a call if you have that number, we'd appreciate it. Also, we had a caller named Mark who called in, and I thought Sean could address this. And Mark asked how old you had to be to race at DeSoto Speedway.
Have to be 16, got to have a driver license to race there.
That's it? And a lot of nerve?
Yeah, lots of nerves.
Well, you have to have a race car too, that helps, right?
Right.
And in your case, when we get to your interview, we'll find out that you've got like several of them around the house. So, well, that's great. So, Mark, the answer to your question is you have to be 16 with a driver's license.
Right.
Is that right? Okay. And that seems pretty easy, but that's just the beginning. If I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into it during that time. Also, we had another caller that asked why Gus was disqualified, and TR, do you know the answer to that question? Number 41 that you saw.
Yeah, I'd spoke with the track officials today, and there was a ground mark in one of the heads on Gus's car that is not factory, which could have been a mistake or whatever when somebody was trying to ground the valves or something, but this mark was not supposed to be there, so he was disqualified on the top half of his engine. Now, his whole engine was disqualified, or was not disqualified, but protested. To my understanding, the top half was found illegal. The bottom half was found legal. So Gus picked up the protest money, I believe, Bounty, from the bottom end.
Yes.
But he lost the top end. So, this is part of racing. If one of the crews don't feel that whoever beat them is legal, then they can protest. This is something brought to the head every week that is addressed by the track officials and hopefully is taken care of. Like last week, supposedly everything was copacetic and done the way the rule book said it was done. So, some weeks, an old story that I've always used since I've been in the business, sometimes the bear gets you, but sometimes you get the bear. And this is one of those, the bear got you and you got the bear deals. So,
I'm trying to figure this analogy out with racing, but that's okay, I understand. Okay, but we don't want any bears in here in the studio, so.
Right.
So hopefully that'll help answer your question. As you know, in order to keep the cars equal, we have to impose technical rules that make the cars so they're apples to apples. And that's not just true at DeSoto Speedway. As you know, the big boys in Winston Cup will get fined big figures like $15,000, $25,000 for doing something wrong through NASCAR, and of course the Indy guys too. So, you know, it's just part of the game, and you know, we're sorry that that happened, but of course Gus is a strong runner. We know he'll be back in the winner's circle soon. Right now what we're going to do is talk to Brownie a little more. And we're not going to ask, what's your real name? No, I'm only kidding. I won't ask you.
Kermit.
Kermit?
Yeah.
Did you know that Brownie's real name was Kermit?
I know a frog named Kermit, you know?
Well,
what about
see,
Miss
they
Piggy?
named him after me.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Now, when was he born?
I don't know.
I don't know. You don't want to know.
Brownie, let's
He's been here many years. And
let's figure out, when did you really start racing?
1952.
1952.
Yeah.
That was
You already said
Sarah
that once, but I'll remind you.
Yes.
You know, I forget. You know this.
You know, the 1952. Let's see. I was. Well, I'm not going to tell you, but I was born in 53. Whoops. Now they're adding. Oh, she's an old lady.
Figment of imagination, you know.
That's right. But Brownie, if you started in 52, so you've always raced in this area. You were at Sierra Manor to begin with, and back with Clyde Cole, and I know that Mr. White,
the Halls.
And Pancho Alvarez and Pete Foltz, which is old. They run back in the 50s, and Billy Gill, and which that's Bobby's dad. And Bobby's dad that's running in the truck, the NASCAR truck show.
Boy, if you can say that fast about 10 times.
Yeah.
The Gills, of course, have gone way up.
And then his other brother is running in the number 5 in the modified minis.
Right now, somebody was telling me that way back, years and years back in the 50s, somewhere, that I think it was one of the golf had brought a new Mercury out to Sarah Manor or something like that, and was involved in a wreck with, I believe, Billy Gill.
Yeah, Billy used to run here.
One of them used to run a new Mercury. They brought a brand new Mercury to the racetrack.
Yeah.
And something happened. I don't know, it was Billy or
sounds like
one of them had stopped right in the center of the turn, and the other car went up under this car, and I think the Mercury was in the back, and just totaled the Mercury, brand new car. You know, that's back when
I can't imagine that happening at Sarah Manor.
Oh, well.
Well, and we're going to look at some footage of Brownie right now. We're going to see how the new modern day Zebra works, and maybe Brownie, if you could, during this segment, if you want to roll it whenever y'all are ready. Here we go, and if you want to describe what type of car it is. And
that's a 76 Camaro, and we've run it about, this is about the 3rd year for that car right there. Fred Hawkins, Fred's Garage built it.
Your sponsors?
Katie did, hats and t-shirts there, and Whitbread over Whitfield.
What are you looking for there, Brownie?
No, we're just checking everything out, be sure the carburetor's still there.
Oh, okay.
And so then Buddy Adams painted it. He always paints the thing, the sign company. And then the machine shop, which Junior Purcell and Dick Woodard works in there.
Okay.
And so and we got different guys, and then Johnson's shop down there helped me when we have to take the motor out and do work on it like that. And Fred takes care of most of the suspension when it gets bent up and everything.
Right now, you're pointing to something there that is the back of the Zebra that's been on that car. You know, that's really been...
That's a belly button.
That's been on every Zebra there, and I think of what it is, it's the part that's right underneath the tail. That's TR. He's the vital part of that horse.
You know, I always get the best end of the horse, I guess.
Now here
I'll always come in.
waving now. Here he's getting in.
Looks like he's getting ready to buckle up and go
Looks
out.
like 20 years old hopping in that race car. There you go.
Yeah, I've always run number 15. There's Fred, there's TR. And then Glenn Parhan and Andy, there's Glenn there with us. They're my pit crew.
All right, while we're talking to you, Brownie, and watching your tape, we're going to take a quick call from Missy. And
here's Brownie and some racing action, too.
Yeah, okay. Brownie, let's go ahead and tell us what you're doing there.
Well, it looks like I'm running on the outside there. Coming up through the pack. Started at back 10th. And so I was trying to get through the pack. So
Looks like some close racing there.
Close racing, yeah. That's what the crowd likes, to put on a good show, because they don't like to see follow the leader around there. We have to have some excitement in there.
This is called like the mix and match, guys.
Oh, yes.
Now what happens when you got a car directly in the middle of both of you? You just look to see the first open hole?
You have to pick the fastest one to get around it, because you get hung in behind that slow one, you go clear to the back.
Well, I knew the answer to that. I just wanted to see if you know.
See if I remember.
Having never raced myself.
See if I remember what to do.
Oh, we're just bench racers, you know. And here you come. Now you found some open pavement there, so the idea is to catch up. Get up there. Now
you're starting 10th, you're already up to 4th or 5th. Looks like you came pretty good so far.
Yeah. Well, the week before that, we had double features. I finished second in one race and third in the other race.
In your class, I feel if you finish in the top 5 any night of the week, you're doing real good with the close competition that you all have.
Yeah, we got a bunch of cars that's all right close, close surrounding cars.
There's the checkered flag coming down there, I believe.
Is that the body style that you've discussed, the 76 body style? That's a real popular one. Aren't they getting hard to find, or do you stockpile them?
They're hard to find now. You have to look around to find one that's still, there's not got a lot of rust in it.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, but do you have like 4 or 5 extra ones sitting there just in case you need them? No, it just takes one car at a time.
All right, we're going to go to Missy on the phones and see what Missy has to ask us tonight. Okay, Missy, how can we help you tonight?
Well, I used to come out there all the time every Saturday night with Luann Cole. And I was wondering if Clyde's still racing. I haven't seen Luann in years and just lost touch with her, and I was wondering if Clyde's still racing.
Oh, yeah, Clyde's probably came up from the Brownie school.
Yeah, I remember Lucky.
He was racing at Saramana with Brownie, figure eights.
Right. He's out there all the time in the figure 8 class. Matter of fact, doing real good.
Well, right now, no, he's not. He's building an open wheel modified at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that he still may have his other car, but
Blacks are in it.
Is it Steve Black?
Steve Blacks are in that car.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Okay, so Steve's running his old figure 8 car, and he's building an open wheel modified. And other than that, I believe that they're doing real great. I talked to Sue recently, and the family's doing fine. So
good.
Thanks for calling, Missy.
Thank you. Who do we have here on?
It looks like Penny's on line 3. Penny, are you there?
Nope. Sounds like her fax machine's on.
Penny. Old Penny.
We lost her.
Penny, we lost her.
You want to try line 1? I think there's. Ready? Hello. Nope, but she'll call back.
Okay, Sean, what did you call in about?
I know. We didn't. Sean's getting ready to get some major attention here pretty quick. Okay, so we're going to give him an interview after our next commercial break, and we hope you're enjoying our guests, the oldest and the youngest driver, and we're having a lot of fun with it. The racing history here at this table goes way back, and as you know, the Saramana Speedway was the basis for Desoto Speedway. And when we come back, we'll talk to Sean, not Dwayne, Best about the youngest driver, and thank you for watching.
My family depends on me, and when it comes to keeping the van up and running, I depend on Bill Graham Ford. They understand that my time is valuable, so they don't keep me waiting. When I schedule a service appointment with Bill Graham Ford, I know that I'll be taken care of promptly, and that my van will be ready when they say, with no unexpected surprises. My family trusts that I'll be there for them, and I trust Bill Graham Ford.
Bill Graham Ford. Great deals, great service, and great people.
If you have been involved in a collision, remember you can deal with confidence at Eldridge Body Shop. Our work has been approved by all insurance companies, and we have access to rental cars. We do foreign, domestic, and light-duty truck paint and body work. All of our body technicians are ASC certified and ICAR trained. Eldridge is a member of the Automotive Service Association, ensuring you of an honest and competitive estimate. Eldridge Body Shop has been #1 in customer service since 1978. Eldridge Body Shop, for people who care.
If you're into boating, you ought to get to know Marine Surplus. They specialize in hard-to-find marine supplies and accessories. You'll find everything you need in boating, from anchors to zincs, in their 21,000 square feet of boating supplies and accessories. Just a mile and a half north of the airport on Old U.S. Highway 301. Marine Surplus is open from 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday, to serve all your boating needs. No need to spend a bundle. Shop Marine Surplus. Find what you need and save.
Auto racing is exciting, but it's also dangerous. Drivers walk away from accidents without injury because their safety equipment worked. Today's racer needs to have the best in safety equipment. Hi-Fi Racing can provide you with everything you need for you and your car. We carry the best names such as Simpson, Bell, OMP, Featherlight, Butler-Built, Phoenix, Redline, Longacre, and more. Our new 1,200 square foot showroom is conveniently located near I-75 and I-4 in Tampa. Hi-Fi Racing, your source for safety.
Hey, welcome back again. We appreciate you tuning in tonight for our last segment of the Desoto Speedway Racing Show. We've had a lot of calls that have been coming in, and a lot of people are asking basic questions about the track, which gives us a good sign, because it shows us that we're doing our job, that we're introducing racing to new people as well as the people who already go out there, the 2,500 people that find DeSoto Speedway their home on Saturday night. And a lot of those questions pertain to ticket prices and times and gates and things. Well, there's plenty of room out there because the Speedway seats about 6,000 people. It's a beautiful arena. It's well lit at night. The concessions and food are great. And you can get there at 5 o'clock and go through the gates. A regular adult admission's $8. And then the children, of course, are almost free. I believe that when they're under 6, they are free. And they're only a few dollars, $2 to $3, depending on what night, if it's a special event, when they're ages 6 to 12. So you'll enjoy that. If there are any further questions, you can call the Speedway office anytime at 748-3171. And those are some fun things. And at this point, I'd like to turn our attention over to the youngest driver at the Speedway. I believe, is it Aubrey? She's young also.
Right.
But Sean, how old are you?
I'm 16.
He's a babe in the woods, okay? I mean, I could be your mother too. Tell us a little bit about your family and how many brothers and sisters you have.
I got 2 brothers, no sisters. And they both race.
They both do. So there are 3 of you total.
Right.
All 3 race.
Right.
Do all 3 of you have number 67?
Yes, we do.
Oh my gosh! How many? Is your shop at the house where you work on them?
No, it isn't. We have one. Our shop is located on Fruitville Road, right out here. So we wish it was at the house, but can't do it that way.
And do you live in Sarasota?
Yes, we do.
Oh, great. So you have to go to and from the shop,
Yes.
and you probably do that a lot.
Yes, we do.
Does your mom like bring dinner there every now and then?
Sometimes we have to if we're working late.
Really? So now, which classes do all the brothers race in?
Dwayne races in pure stock, and my older brother Jimmy, he will be bringing his late model out within not this week, but I believe it's going to be next week. He's waiting on his motor to get done.
That's great.
Yeah.
And who builds your engines?
Different people do different jobs.
Right. Do you all maintain the bodies of the cars?
Yes, we try. We do our best. Sometimes we don't have the time.
That's a good.
Do your best,
They got the good
I
last name, you know, best. They do
That's
their best.
great. Tell us about your family and racing and the type of history that you have behind you.
Well, my dad started back when the track opened. Then we followed him in his footsteps, just going up through the years, and we all started racing.
That's great. What's your favorite thing about it?
Just going out to the race.
What about working on it?
That ain't as bad.
It's not that bad?
No, it's not.
Like race duties on that night, do you have all 3 cars in the pit area together?
Yes, we do. We try to.
Okay, so then if you need certain equipment, air
Yes.
guns or compressors or whatever, you can share equipment.
Yes,
That's probably about the only thing you can share, because once you're on the track, you're on your own.
Right.
Sets of tires and everything.
Yes.
Are the parts interchangeable among those cars?
No, they're not.
So it's 3 completely different classes and
Yes.
3 completely... Well, that's
Different cars and types of parts.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to race?
Just going out there and racing.
Did you have somebody coaching you with a radio from the side?
No, we didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Just
No.
had my dad up in the stands pointing and shouting best he could.
Have you three ever gone out and practiced, just the three of you together, just to see what it's like?
No, we haven't.
Now,
Not
you
yet.
talk about brotherly competition. I
Yeah.
can imagine that would be. Well, that's great. Well, we have some footage here of Sean, and what we'd like to do is to roll that and let him describe a little bit about it. And
There's me and my race car there.
amazing. And it says Best Land Development.
Yes, that's my dad's business.
Great.
Gulf Coast Auto Supply?
Yes, they supplies me with some parts.
That's great.
Yes.
You know, that's where we're showing all the sponsors, because without the sponsors on these race cars, it'd just be impossible to run, wouldn't it be, Sean?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, that's across the board. I mean, don't we all live by sponsors?
Yeah.
That is the truth. I mean, from this show on. Now, tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
I believe we're putting the air cleaner back on. We just got done timing the car.
Okay. You all dress so nicely. You've got your uniform shirt on. Do all the brothers wear the same
Yes,
crew?
we do.
That's great. That's a
Yeah.
lot of laundry for Mom.
Yeah, it is.
I was going to say. Well, I know your family has supported DeSoto Speedway for many years, and it takes a family racing together to stay together. I know that. And, you know, you can't say enough for that, because, you know, there's so many problems with kids these days, and if you find a good focused thing, I mean, was that true with you all? I mean, is that your main focus? And
You know, this is showing a lot of the new people that are watching tonight that all ages can enjoy racing. From the youngest to the older people, not the oldest, but the older people, like Lucky Brown that just came with us tonight.
but he's only 45. We're going to get out of it.
I wish.
That's great.
But, you know, Sean's dad has been a real racing avid ever since I've known him. And when was the first time that you came to the racetrack? Do you remember, Sean?
No, I don't.
Margie, when was that?
Well, how could you remember TR? He was only 3 months old. I mean, you know,
Okay.
I bet he was sitting in one of those little baby carrier things up on the hood. I can see it. I remember those days. Now, it looks like someone, who's this talking to you here?
I believe that's my older brother, Jimmy.
Gosh, he's grown.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're all so tall. So you've been going ever since then. And so who, of all the people that you idolize, okay, who would that be? I mean,
My
that's
dad.
Your dad.
It would have
What
to
a
be
great
my dad.
question. We're going to have to tape record this. What about other race car drivers that you enjoy, what do you say, worshiping? Or, I mean, who are your favorite race car drivers?
Probably be Dylan.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
He drives a Chevrolet, but you're driving a Ford.
Right.
It's all right, PR. Calm down on the Fords, okay?
Fords are good.
Listen, I'm telling you, the old number 3. So you're an Intimidator fan.
Right.
All right, we'll let you go. But you did notice that Dale and Dale came in first and second, but it was not Ironhead in the lead. But yeah, we watched that pretty close.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really run for the money here on the Winston Cup points this year. Okay, here we go. Tell us a little bit about, looks like time trials?
Yes, I believe that's what it was. I was out there doing my time trial. Not doing too good, but because I had a crack intake and it was popping through the whole thing.
Okay, and tell us about the time trials. For people that haven't heard, what does that process involve?
You just make a couple laps, see if you can get your best time, then for the 50 lapper, whoever got the best time starts up front.
They run you heads up?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that your fast time's on pole and then the times work back.
Yes.
Sometimes in bigger races, we'll do an inversion where we'll flip a coin, it'll be 6 or 10 or 12. We won't tell them so they don't sandbag on the time.
Right. I think they did that Saturday night too.
Did they? They did an inversion? Okay, now what's happening here? Looks like
that's when I was having problems with my car, so instead of trying to wreck my car on everybody else, I brought it in just to save it. Bring it back out next week.
Well, there you go. There's nothing like I used to always look and see which end my husband's race car was loaded on when he came home to make sure it was on the nose first. Well, great. Well, thanks a lot, Sean, for that little narration and interview. And we've had a good time tonight with Sean and Lucky. You still with us over there, Lucky?
Oh, yeah, still here.
What does Lucky Brown's shirt say? I've been trying to read that all night, and I can't
Looks like a Katydid shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Katydid, and then it's number 45 with the Wildlife at Wild Turkey Federation that they did this for number 35 in the Bush class.
Mike McLaughlin.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So they printed those shirts up for them.
So they got that whole contract for that whole team.
Yeah.
Katydid's is located in Bradenton?
Yeah, it's right off of Whitfield. Right there in Whitfield.
Great.
And they do all kinds of wildlife.
Yeah, they do all of, for the boat companies, Wellcraft, they do all the sewing on their jackets and everything. They got the one that does embroidery work, and then they got the ones, the hats, the hats that they do, and the t-shirts.
That's the hat that Terry's going to get tonight, right?
Terry's going to get this hat here.
Oh, good. Well, listen, we want to thank you all so much for being here, and for our sponsors, and Hi-Fi Racing, Goodyear, Bill Graham Ford, and of course Eldridge's and Marine Surplus. So we want to thank you all for joining us, and Sean, and we want to thank Brownie. We want to thank TR for being here. And as you know, DeSoto Speedway races every Saturday night. You'll be able to see all the features plus the figure eights this week. Gates open at 5, racing action starts at 7 with a parade lap, and it goes from there. So we hope we see you out at the Speedway, and they call it the South's fastest short track, and it lives up to its name every Saturday night. We hope to make a race fan out of you, and we certainly thank you for joining us here at the DeSoto Speedway Racing Show. This is our 4th time, and we hope to go on through for many to come, and any of your suggestions are greatly appreciated by calling the track at 748-3171. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for being a race fan and joining the many Americans who love to see the races, love to go fast, and we appreciate you being with us tonight. Flip.